So we're going to try to start in a minute here. I don't know if you guys can hear that noise. I got my landscapers here. They just showed up like 2 minutes before we get ready to start.
They turn up in a freaking helicopter to cut Bobby's grass.
Well, they needed a helicopter. Seriously. Hear it? Yeah. That's the weed whacker. They're weed eating. Now there goes the lawnmower. Missed him. What is happening right now? He's like right against the house. Okay, so we're gonna start in a minute here. We're gonna, we do have a good show planned for everybody.
Bobby invited them over, by the way.
I just was like, you know what? Well, I did. I didn't think they were actually gonna, I didn't think they were gonna show up. Is the problem? They're not very dependable. They never show up any other time I call them. These are the same guys that replaced my shutters. So they replaced my shutters. They took the shutters, right, to go paint them, and then they come back for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, guys, are you gonna put the shutters back up? Like, come on, man. So
that's funny.
It's crazy because I'm looking at the audio, right? You're dead silent. And mine, like, if I don't talk,
yeah, it's
spiking because you can hear wee 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 wee. Like, oh my god! Listen.
Oh my.
This is a quality podcast, Toby.
Yeah.
This is a quality. Like, this is all the stuff that we do typically before we record anyway. People get to actually see this uncut, minus the curses because we typically light it up when it's just you and I. So, Toby, question. Should I go with glasses or no glasses anymore?
I'd like to see you in glasses. I feel like you're on my level intellectually when you're wearing them. Otherwise, you're a step below.
You're a real piece of work. You know that? Yeah. You're a real piece of work.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go with the glasses then. Hold on. I got smudges on them. I gotta clean them real quick.
Amateur.
Hey, these are sunglasses. These are fake. What I might do, I want to see if I can get...
Did you say they're sunglasses?
They are sunglasses.
So you got reaction lenses?
No. They're sunglasses that the tint is like real nothing. So it's like... But they are sunglasses. They actually keep the UV off your eyes.
Whatever you say, man.
Bro, don't question me. Don't at me, Toby. Sean Capri is walking the dogs, got the kids in the stroller. Mostly listening in, trying not to crash while I chat. Well, that would kind of stink if you ran the kids into something. Like, what are you doing over there, Sean? Sean Capri. Garrett Bland is here. What is
Hey,
up,
Garrett.
What's up, Garrett? How you doing?
How are you doing, you handsome man?
Joseph Moran is here. Captain Kinopio.
He just followed me on Twitter.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. New sub. He's a new sub, and all that stuff. Deuterino's in the house. Brendan Myers.
Alex Erie is about.
He's about.
He's about.
What do you mean he's about?
Dude, he's watching.
Where?
I don't know. Discord. Is that Discord?
He can't be watching on Discord, can he?
Don't know, dude.
Or is he watching on Twitter?
Maybe.
Why?
You just sent me this picture.
I love Alex. Gorlox is here. What is up, Gorlox? How you doing? So we should be. I think we probably could get started now. It sounds like they're on the front of the house now.
I can still hear them whacking.
Yeah, but it isn't that loud. Stop it, man. Well, it's better than hearing me whacking things.
Yeah. You're pretty sloppy when you're whacking, man.
How would you know, sir? How dare you? How dare you?
Just saying.
There was one time.
I've seen your bare butt, man. I know.
I was gonna say
than you think.
that one time we were playing Minecraft. I believe it was Minecraft.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta go grab something, Toby. I'll be right back. And I got up and got what I had to get, and I come back and I'm like, Toby, and you looked over and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, full moon. Couldn't believe it.
It's the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. You were like, I'm in love. And since that moment, you've been to every single podcast. You've never missed a podcast since.
No, I've missed a few.
Deathscope, which I think is Alex. He's over on Twitch right now.
Oh, Twitch.
Yeah, and he said he loves me too. Alex, okay, so here's the thing. We talked about this on the last podcast. Toby has banned me from playing with you guys, Alex. I'm no longer allowed to play video games with you guys. And I would really appreciate it if you and Mike and P would get together and kind of disinvite Toby and invite me in to the fold again.
Seriously, though, I am an internal cog. They can't just disregard me like that. The whole thing falls apart without me.
You think, but you're a bully, and it's ridiculous.
I'm not a bully, Bobby.
You're very much so a bully. You're worse than Sean Capra. And that's
Sean
Capra. Really quickly, I want to say hello to Very Carey. She's on the Twitch side as well. Jonathan Brown is on the Twitch side as well. Very Carey just subscribed.
Kid.
Very. 6 months.
Is Very her first name?
6 months in right now. So if you notice, the lights change color, Toby. And that's because.
Not notice, Bobby.
How did you? They're changing right now.
I can see. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Pay attention. I'm gonna leave them like that for the podcast.
All right, dude.
It's awesomeness. It's awesomeness.
Sorry, I just not.
This is what happens when we go live. When we go live, things start to change. Very brave of you, Bobby. Attack me when you know how difficult it is for me to reply. Sean Capri's been on a warpath. I don't know if you know this, Toby.
Has he?
He's been attacking a lot of our friends that are podcasters.
You know what? Yeah, like every time you do it, if we were on Nintendo with him, it starts off where he's calling people out and he's firing shots.
Yeah.
And it's going to get him in trouble, man.
Well, the thing of it is, it reminds me of like a drunken girlfriend who is at a party and starts a fight with a bunch of big guys and expect the guy to jump in and defend their honor. And I've always been that guy that was just like, you're on your own, I'm out. And I'd leave because I'm a wimp. I'm not, so that's what he's doing. He's sitting there throwing around his mouth. Yeah. His mouth is writing checks that his ass can't cash. And it's like, you're going to, like, Sean, I love you, but, like, there's only so much I can do for you.
So, yeah, someone's going to put him on blast at some point.
Sean said, I just want you to love me. I do love
today,
you,
right, I witnessed some major road rage, right?
From you?
No, not from me.
Oh,
I
wow.
was on the pavement. I was civilian in this situation.
Yeah.
And so we're walking along, pushing Evie, and there's all this traffic in the road because there's some, like, train barriers that are down. And I hear all this beeping out of nowhere, just cars going nuts. So I turn around, I see this guy, right? He's in traffic. He gets out of his car, He slams the door shut, goes to the car behind him, leans into this car, and starts proper having a go at this dude, right?
Really?
Yeah, then he gets back in his car, and then I hear more beeping. The guy behind him is beeping at him, so they're really angry at each other, right? And so the barrier's open, the cars are going along. So I'm just waiting for these two cars to come next to us because we're going in the same direction. And I see the car where the guy got out. It's these two guys that are my age, right? And they're driving this Mercedes. It's a little bit banged up, but they're blaring out this music, like really loud, like they're a couple of tough boys, right? And then behind them is this middle-aged dude who's with like greyish hair. He's driving a real posh BMW, and he's like honking at them, revving his car at them. And then they get to this roundabout, and they bomb it across it, and then he charges after him, puts his foot down, and they're like driving in the middle of the road, so he can't overtake them. And they're like doing a car chase down the road.
Get out of here!
Yeah, it's insane.
What are you people doing over there?
I know, man. Middle of the afternoon.
This is the problem with British people. You guys are very uptight.
Yeah.
You're wound very tight, man. You're wound very tight. Okay, so we might as well jump into this, right?
Yeah. The humming has gone.
Yeah, it's all going. I heard Evie for a minute there. She was trying to get her say so.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is episode 316, man.
The significance?
Austin 316, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, Cone Stoled, yeah.
Don't disgrace.
No, right. I love Stone Cold, right? He was my favorite.
Yeah, he was awesome
growing up.
Yeah.
But there was this one clip of, I think it was like Mike Tyson or someone. He was being interviewed, and he was watching a Royal Rumble, and then he goes, Cone Stone's my man.
Well, it's Mike Tyson, so what do you really expect? You know what I mean? All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ooh.
Don't mess up, man.
Really?
Just don't mess up.
The pressure is already high. You're going to come like that?
You've only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes in.
You're a real son of a gun. Okay. Now you got pressure on me, dude. Because now I'm like, because I always flub this. There's Sean too, or Badman saying don't mess up. This is ridiculous. Okay,
vomit on your sweater already, man.
I know. Here we go. Okay. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 16 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Mr. Tobey Thornton. What is up, Tobey?
What is up, Bobby? Congratulations.
See
you
that?
Made it through.
I'm a professional, bro. I'm a professional, brah. You can't mess with this. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's actually really, really hot this weekend in the UK. It's a scorcher.
A scorcher. What's it? A balmy 56?
Well, your temperatures are different to our temperatures, aren't they?
Translate it to me. Just translate it for me.
I don't know. It's probably like 20-something degrees.
20
Let me look it up.
degrees. So that's probably like
keep talking.
That's like 60 or something here right now. So I think we have a fun episode today. We're doing it live. We haven't done a live episode in a very, very long time. But because of essentially what's happening here is because of Easter being tomorrow, Toby reached out to me and said, "Hey, I can only do one episode this week." And when he set the time up, I'm thinking to myself, I really don't want to wake up early on Easter Sunday. I'd rather just sleep in if I can. So we turned around and I said, "Hey, what about recording today, at 1 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock your time?" And you were like, "Oh, that would actually be better for me." Mm. And I said, "Okay, cool." And I said, "Hey, man, why don't we go live too? We haven't done that in a long time." And Toby got all giddy, like a little schoolgirl. You know what I mean? He started waving his hands around and like that. Oh, it was amazing. It's amazing. Sean Capri would say it's amazing. But
it's 62 Fahrenheit, right?
That's not hot. That's a scorcher?
Look, dude, it's later in the day now. It was hotter earlier. 6 hours ago, it was probably nearly 70, which is quite hot.
Let me definitions here. Let me explain to you the English language, Toby. Scorcher means like you're sweating your nutsack off. 70 degrees is not a scorcher. 90? Okay. 80, high 80s?
When you
We're
live
talking.
in the UK, right, and your weather is 99% of the time cold, grey, and rainy, right? 20 degrees
So essentially,
is a
when you
scorcher.
wake up in the morning and the sun's out, it's a scorcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your lotion on.
I got you. I understand. Oh my god. Okay. So, hey man, did you watch the episode that I put up yesterday, Free Flow Friday?
I watched it this morning.
Okay, but you saw it, right?
Yeah. I wept.
Bring back. Did you really?
A little bit.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I did actually when I watched the unedited version. I got a little misty.
It brings back memories and just makes me feel good, you know.
Well, the first thing is I think we both were better looking.
Yeah, you know what? Like I was around my parents and they watched one of my old vlogs that I used to do.
Yeah.
And my dad, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, you've aged a lot in 2 years." Like you couldn't believe like how young and happy I used to look, and now like I'm miserable and old looking.
Kids will do it to you, Toby. I can say it. You can't because you got thin walls, and Karina can come through there any minute, busting through, beating you up. I would love to see that one day, like Karina holding Evie in one arm and punching you with the other arm.
All right.
Like that would be pretty awesome to see.
You would love to see that, okay?
That would be amazing. That would be just like through the roof amazing. Okay, so let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our geek outs.
Geek out.
There you go. A little emphasis there. I like it.
A little bit.
What are you geeking out about there, Tobey?
I am geeking out about. I have been playing a Link to the Past randomizer.
Why do you bastardize the precious holy grail of games?
It's so good, man. It's so good because, you know, you've played that game hundreds of times before. This is an opportunity to play the game that you know and love in a fresh light, in a new way. Doesn't take anything away from how it's originally intended. It's just a different way to play it, and I just totally love it. Basically, you can set up parameters when you first play the randomizer. So you can say, do you want to start with a sword? Yes or no? What do you want the completion requirements to be? So it can be like defeat Ganon, or all dungeons and defeat Ganon, or just get the Master Sword, stuff like that. So I started off with a nice easy one. I just want to pull the Master Sword, and I did start with a sword. So I had a little bit of advantage against enemies. And it does test your knowledge, like of all the chests in the game, because that's all what it's about really, is opening as many chests as possible to find the correct items. And yeah,
this sounds terrible.
Dude, it's so good. You can open the map. I know, man. But you can open the map and it will show you where because you need the 3 pendants to be able to draw the sword.
Yeah.
So you open the map and it will show you what dungeons those pendants are in.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of direction from that. But one of the pendants is in the Dark World in the Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think, all right, how do I get into that palace, and what items do I need when I'm in there to beat that dungeon?
Yeah.
So then you've got to think, right, well, I need flippers, and I need the glove to lift the rock, because you need the level 2 glove. And then when you're in there, you need the hook shot, I think. Bomb. You definitely need bombs. So like all these things you need. You think, right, I need this, this, and this, and then you've got to. Oh, and you need the moon pearl, and you need the mirror. Like there's loads of stuff.
Yeah.
You need. So yeah, it's really fun trying to get all those items together so you can get on with it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I am myself. I am geeking out about. I have in front of my house right now. I have what we call roll-off container. It's a dump. It's a dumpster.
Right.
And the reason why,
like a skip.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a big metal
Yes,
box.
it's a can. It's a metal can. You throw trash in it and stuff. But the reason why that excites me is because, so where I am right now, on the wall right here, on the other side of that wall is another room. And right now it has like all my statues in it, and it has furniture that I didn't want in the house. I moved it all in there. So it's really like crammed wall to wall with stuff. But when I bought this place, my idea was that was going to be my recording studio.
Yeah.
Meaning recording videos. So I will paint one of the walls green. I'll go back to my green screen days and all that stuff. And then ultimately what I want to do is I'm going to work with Rybo and Joe after work, and I'm going to basically get them to build me a PC, a streaming PC.
Mm-hmm.
So then that will come into this room, and then my Mac and stuff will go into the studio room where I will actually do like my recordings and editing, and everything will be over there. So it's a step. So I was telling Sean last night, I really want to start streaming like some Wii U games, potentially maybe some Xbox, potentially some PlayStation games. But like I have no room on my desk to put that stuff. So what I want to do is on that wall on the opposite side, I want to build it. I want to get a shelf and put a hole through the wall where I can run wires from that room into this room.
Okay.
And then essentially I can hook everything up into this room, but it being on that side. And then it would keep this room perfectly pristine, and that room would have like whatever over there. So it's exciting to me because I can't wait to get into doing that. And it'll allow me to do some different stuff with my Nintendo Guru Daily stuff where it's not always in this room. I could do it in front of the green screen because I do miss doing some stuff in front of the green screen. I had some fun with that. So I think I can play with all that stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where you take that.
Yeah, it'll be pretty good. So we got 2 topics we're gonna kick off with. Which way you want to go with this? You want to go with yours? You want to go with mine? What do you want to do?
Let's start off with my topic.
Okay. So go ahead. What you got?
So recently, lead architect on the PS5, Mark Cerny, had, I think it was like a discussion or an interview or whatever with Wired.com. And he was going over some of the stuff they're working on for PS5.
Mm-hmm.
They've not directly called it PS5, but I'm sure it's going to be called that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
they'll call it Orbis.
I don't think they're going to change the name now. It's a little late in the game to be changing the name up.
Yeah. So I'm just going to run you through some of the things he was mentioning to see, what you think and if you're excited about it. Okay. So the biggest thing, straight off.
I'm not excited about it. Go ahead. Let's go.
He's very excited about a solid state drive that it will have.
Okay.
And it's a very new version of it, and he was saying that basically that's gonna reduce load times in games dramatically.
Well, it'll reduce load times in games, but it'll also reduce load times of the console itself.
Yeah.
Because if you have a computer that has solid state, it basically it zips in and out to what you want to do.
Exactly.
So that does excite me, because it does feel like forever when you fire up a PlayStation 4 to the time you're actually into a game.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it to a 3DS or the Switch. Those consoles, you're in and out rapid fire. There's no bones about it. So I do like that part.
Yeah, he had a really cool example. He said that the dev kit that they're working with can do fast travel in Spider-Man. I think it's 300% faster. So he said on a standard PS4, it takes 15 seconds to load when you do fast travel in the game. But on the dev kit with a solid state drive, it's 0.8 seconds.
Ooh.
Wow. That's ridiculous. The difference there. And
that's almost back NES cartridge times.
Exactly. And I was thinking, I was like, wow, I remember games didn't used to have load times.
Yeah.
Only when disk systems came along did it really have that. So it's a pretty interesting thing to be going back.
I think the last console that didn't have load times was the N64.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Switch has some load times to it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so just reducing that, that's Very, very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The next thing he talked about was ray tracing, which I like. Unless you're like really into your tech, that's kind of difficult to understand.
Rybo probably knows exactly what that is.
I think basically it just means more realistic lighting within games for a more realistic like environment levels, etc. Apparently, it's really good for water graphics with like, the way.
So they wouldn't have to reduce the puddles in Spider-Man. Is what you're saying?
Possibly. Yeah. So if you're like into your graphics, then ray tracing is awesome.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
He mentioned 3D audio, which will be dramatically different from PS4. I don't really know what that is. That's kind of a pie in the sky thing. Unless you've got a decent audio setup, like.
I mean, I would assume, and I don't know, but the way it sounds is it would be more like closer to a surround sound type thing, essentially.
Yeah. But again, that's really down to your audio setup. If you've just got a TV with speakers, it's not going to sound that much better. I don't think. So, up to 8K support. 8K isn't really a thing, so.
Well, it's close. It's a lot closer than we think, but. The thing that I like about that is they're future proofing it for a little bit, which means
so they won't need a PS5
Pro
K or whatever.
Well, because you think about it, like we wouldn't have needed a PS4 Pro if they would have future proofed the PS4 originally. So I like that they're, and not only that, like they know that 8K is a lot closer. When they launched the PS4. I think in their mind, 4K was quite a bit ways off before, they probably thought they had, like, I have a full generation before I do anything. But it hit them quicker than I think anybody expected. I think the pricing and the availability of 4K TVs, man, it dropped dramatically. It was so fast. Like, I remember 1080 TVs. Like, it had to take at least, say, 6-7 years before those things got reasonably priced. Like, there was a very long time that, like, in order to get a good 1080p TV, you were still dropping $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
And the 4K TVs, they dropped to $200-300 within a couple of years. Like, the turnaround was so dramatic. So I think they're just trying to read the tea leaves here. But that's good. I like that.
Backwards compatible with PlayStation 4.
Now, he's saying backwards compatible for PlayStation 4, but the rumor is it's going to be backwards compatible for everything.
Well, that was a rumor because they filed a patent that had that. But
for those who speak English, it's patent. Go ahead.
He's only mentioned PlayStation 4, and that worries me a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think,
I
mean, it would be good to be backwards compatible with 4, but it wouldn't amaze me in the same way.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, let's be fair about this. This isn't the official announcement.
No.
This is just him kind of talking about some things that they're doing. So maybe they're just trying to hold some things close to the vest to be like, let's wait and see what. Because Xbox has come out and said, like, E3, we're talking about our next console. Yeah. So maybe they're also trying to hold some things close to the vest to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. They don't want to leak too much. Yeah.
He said it will have a disc drive, so it's not all digital like people have been worrying about.
I think we're see, here's my thing. I think we're in an age where we're not ready for all disc drive, like or a discless drive. I think we're still on that area where we need to be prepared. What in the hell is going on now? The neighbor's getting his lawn cut now.
So, called it. Hey mate, come do my grass.
Come do mine now. But I think that we're in a situation where we're not ready to. I'm gonna hurt somebody. I should go out there and just be like, "Get off my lawn!" Oh, you know what they're doing? They're blowing they're blowing off. Anyway, so I think we're in a situation where we're not ready for that yet. As a gaming community, we're not there where we could go, hey, I want to go all digital. We get that. Just drop it in a Facebook forum and watch the chat just evolve into hate and rage the minute you say, like, this is what we should have. Because ultimately, I feel like, I mean, your good friend, my good friend, Alan Paxton, like, dude, he couldn't even play anything with us. because
Yeah.
his internet was trash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here we are in 2018, and he's just now getting to the point where what we were doing the podcast 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and that's when he was talking about like, hey man, they're talking maybe next year we'll get good internet, and it was like
Yeah.
3 years later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I think it would be nice if they have the choice. If they had two SKUs, they had an all digital SKU and a disc one,
Yeah.
just to give, especially it sounds like it's going to be expensive, like all the things that they're talking about at the moment. I mean, that he says it will be affordable, but he says gamers will be pleasantly surprised about the price. I think that's them just talking, but
Well, let me ask you a question. What would pleasantly surprise you with a price? Because what a PS4 Pro goes for 400, I think, right?
I don't know how much it is in the UK.
I think it's 400, if I'm not mistaken.
Pleasantly surprised would be £300 to £350. Like, I wouldn't want to spend any more than that.
Yeah. I think if they come in between 300 and 400, they're probably in the sweet spot of where they need to be for this thing. If it's over 400, they're in trouble. They're in some serious trouble in my mind.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If this thing is backwards compatible, do you think PSVR works with this?
That's actually, he confirmed it will.
Okay. So the current state of PSVR will work with a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. That's probably the huge reason why they made this thing backwards compatible.
Yes, I agree. It's going to improve PSVR dramatically.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it'll improve PSVR dramatically, but I mean, the idea is that like if you don't make this thing backwards compatible, you got problems.
Oh, yeah.
You have
because all the
major
people will
problems.
think, well, I've literally just invested in PSVR and now it's going to be obsolete in a year or two.
Yeah, and you want people to not like right
Yeah.
now. People are probably not buying PS4s. They're probably done with PS4s at this point, especially after this announcement. Like you got to be like desperate for a PS4 in order to get it. So after this announcement, I think they realized that we've just cannibalized and killed off PS4 sales. We don't want to do that with VR. We have to make this thing backwards compatible because then at least this way it's like, hey, I still want to buy a PSVR because I can then take that and move that over. I'm curious. I'm curious if we get a PSVR 2 when this all comes out. Like I would say at least a year in, they gotta.
Oh yeah, I think
that
they've
thing.
definitely got to update the headset.
Yeah.
Take a couple of wires or out of the equation, all of them if they can, but at least make it a little lighter and a little more user friendly.
Yeah. So the question I have for you is, I'm assuming is that all you have? Like, is there anything else for this?
There was a sort of a leaked picture of a controller that had a actual screen on it. And to replace the touchpad, it had a screen, like a touch screen.
It's interesting.
But I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think that's just going to put the price up of controllers way too much.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, like the PS4 controller is expensive as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's already a pretty hefty deal as we go. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see where it comes in. For me, like what I'm hearing, there's only one game. That's it. I need one game. That's it, and that's Last of Us 2. The day that Last of Us 2 launches, I will buy a PS5. Like I hear it all the time. People will say, I need multiple games in order to warrant me buying this console. I'm the guy that goes, I just need one game. If you give me one game that I really want, I'm going in head first. I mean, PS3 was DC Universe Online and then Arkham series. You know for a fact that PS4, I waited until Arkham City or Arkham Knight hit.
Yeah.
When that came, I went and bought a PS4 like day one, or not day one, but the minute they announced it, I went and pre-ordered it. So that's just me. Like that's what I need in order to go. So
when you bought a Wii U, did you buy it for one game?
There was no games out. There was like I bought it day one. I
Yeah,
wanted
but
it.
like the reason you bought it was it for a game
No, the
or
reason I
was
bought it was
it?
because it's Nintendo. But like,
Yeah.
I was looking at, there really wasn't anything. I just wanted that one day one.
Yeah.
Like when so when I bought my 3DS, they
Yeah.
announced Animal Crossing. That's what
Yeah.
made me go buy it day one, because they announced it at that E3 conference that it was coming, and I was like, I want Animal Crossing. I actually
Yeah.
went and pre-ordered two, one for me and one for Tony at the time. Um, when I think about like the Wii was Wii Sports. Like once I played that, I was like, I need this thing.
And Zelda.
I said the Wii.
Yeah, Twilight Princess.
That didn't. I could care less about that game. That's not what.
Oh
That's not what made me
man.
go buy a Wii. It just so
It
happened
made
I
me
got.
buy a Wii. I mean, of course, Wii Sports, but day one, I played Wii Sports for like 20 minutes in the morning, and then the rest of the day was Zelda.
Well, the thing of it is this, Toby. I didn't get a Wii day one.
Okay.
Like I didn't want a Wii at all. I wanted nothing to do with that console. And then I went to my brother's house for a part. I went down for a NASCAR race, and the day that I got there, they had a big party. And at the time, that was when Tony and I first started dating, and we both went down together. And they had a Wii set up, and I was like, I ain't playing that stupid thing. I'm gonna sit out on the back deck and get drunk. I'm not. And she was actually inside the house with the kids, my nephew and niece, playing. And then she came out. She's like, "You really need to see this thing." And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "No, really, seriously." I was like, "Okay." So I went in and I bowled a couple frames, and I'm like, "Okay, I need this thing." But the problem was you couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah, man.
Like they were.
You know what's funny? The Wii is still around in places like hospitals.
Yeah.
Like we've taken Evie to a couple of appointments at the pediatric part of our local hospital, and in the waiting room it's just a Wii with Wii bowling, and like I'm sitting there just in the waiting room watching all these children go up and play Wii bowling and Wii tennis and stuff.
You should be like that guy that like gets up there and starts bowling with them and like gets
Yeah,
serious and like clear the
fight.
table out, and then when you bowl a strike, you jump in the little kid's face like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Like you ever see you saw Billy Madison, right?
I don't know.
Oh my God, there's a scene in Billy Madison. It's an Adam Sandler movie where he goes back to school, and the kids are all like he's in second grade, but he's an adult. His dad makes him go back to school. He's got to graduate all the class. He's got to graduate high school within like each class, each grade is 2 weeks. So the teacher's like, go outside and play dodgeball. And he walks outside, and the minute he walks outside, he gets hit in the face with the ball.
Yeah.
So he's out. Yeah. Right? And they're like, this kid's like, whatever. So he goes back into class, and he's all upset. He's all dejected. Yeah. And the teacher's like, no, you really need to go back outside. Like, this is my time alone. Away from you little bastards. So he goes back out, and they throw the ball in his face, and he catches it. And he goes, now you're all gonna die. And dude, these little kids are right, and he's pelting them as hard as he can. And you hear kids like, oh, they're crying. It's the best scene in a movie ever. Just to watch it pure torture these little bastard childs. It's amazing. So ultimately for me, this does excite me what I hear. I think they're onto some stuff. I think that what I like about the PS5, what I'm hearing is Sony's not afraid of Google, of Xbox, of Nintendo. They're kind of still sticking to their path of this is what we do. Mm-hmm. This is what we do better than anybody. And we're going down this road. And we're just going to push forward with this and see what happens. I like this idea of what they're doing because so much right now of what you're hearing is all digital, the streaming service type stuff. Like, companies that aren't a gaming company are getting into the mix now, and they're trying to impose their will upon. And I like the fact that like Nintendo and Sony are just like, no. This is how you do gaming. We're going to stick this way, and they're pushing forward with what they're doing. I'm impressed by it, so I'm happy to see what they're doing.
I totally agree. It feels like they're sticking to what they know works, what worked with the PS4. Yeah. They pushed the games from the start. Yeah. They didn't want to have anything to do with what Xbox was doing and all that. Like, in fact, they were mocking them for it. Yes. So, yeah, I'm just happy that they're concentrating on games by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
The load times is a massive thing that I'm excited about. Like, I'd love to just have the convenience of gaming back. That's why I love the Switch so much, because it's so easy to pick up and play and get into games really quickly.
Yeah.
And if I can do that, jump in and play a game without having to go through all the motions of turning it on, loading the game up, loading my save up, all of that stuff, like, it takes forever. It's annoying. Fix it.
Well, it sounds like they're going to fix it, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing. Okay, so my topic for this week is, with all the leaks of a new Switch upgrade, what's exciting you from the leaks you're hearing? What do you want in a Switch upgrade, and what's it going to take for Nintendo to get you to upgrade your Switch day one?
Hmm.
So here's the lay of the land. This is where we're at right now. So there's all these rumors coming at us 100 miles an hour. 2 SKUs, a Pro and a Mini. From what I'm understanding, there's a potential of replacing the current with one of those. So
Yeah.
the current one we have would disappear, and they would have a Pro, and then they would have a Mini. The Mini is more kid friendly. The Pro, from what they're saying right now, Nintendo's trying to ramp that up a little bit to be more powerful than a typical Switch. They're working with NVIDIA to try to find the sweet spot of what they want to do. But what the Switch, like, does any of the rumors that you've heard so far, like, have you heard any of the leaked rumors yet or no?
More so about the Mini than the Pro. I mean, other than just more power, like, I don't think I've heard anything about what they're gonna do with that.
Okay. So then I thought to you, what does Nintendo need to do? Well, let's start with this. What are you hoping for, upgrades wise? Like, what do you think the Switch is lacking that it needs?
I think it does lack a little bit of power, especially in handheld mode.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing for me is I want the games to run as well as they do on the TV in handheld. I don't want to see that downgrade, because a lot of the time, you play in docked, the games look great, it's 1080p, it's smooth, but when you take it out, the developers they neglect the handheld mode sometimes, and the resolution is usually uncapped, and it's like up and down, and I just want to have, like, the guarantee of being able to play the best version in handheld as well as on the TV. So that would be my big hope. It's just enough power to let it do that, and obviously that would require a longer battery life. I would also like the bezel around the screen to disappear, so that'd be nice. Just sort of stretch the screen out a little bit.
So essentially, you don't want a bigger screen. You just want
you
want better resolution. What I'm saying is because some people are like saying they want a bigger version, but you're just saying, like, give me the same size, just get rid of the bezel.
Same size Switch, same size Switch. Just stretch the screen to the edges. I think that would be great, because I don't really want anything that's bulkier than what we've already got.
What about if Nintendo was to kind of get crazy in the future and did something like the Samsung, that they have that phone now that folds in half? That thing is pretty unbelievable.
It's interesting tech. I'll say that, but I don't know. Like, what I've heard about it so far, the only thing I've heard about it is it breaks quite easily.
Oh, really? Okay. Disregard. We don't need that in our lives. So, okay, here's my question to you then. Of the 2 Switches that are kind of rumored, what interests you more, the Mini or the Pro?
Definitely the Pro.
Okay.
Because what I've heard about the Mini is perhaps it will be handheld only, which I don't think is going to be the case anyway. But if it is, that completely and utterly disregards the whole thing about the Switch. I mean, why call it a Switch if you can't switch? It makes no sense to me.
No, okay. So there was a rumor just yesterday that it will connect to the TV. How it connects to the TV, I don't know, but there is that rumor that just popped up.
I mean, I'd accept it if it came without a dock and you had to buy a dock separately for it. fine. Like at least you can spend the money to have that option if you want.
Yeah.
Get rid of HD Rumble. I hate it. Because I play mostly in handheld. Every time I play a game, the first thing I do is go into the options, turn Rumble off because it sucks.
Does it not feel very aggressive?
It's too aggressive. There's
Yeah.
no nuance to it.
Yeah.
It's all the whole thing just rattles.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
and like it's no fun. Like
Yeah.
why even have it there? Just
The
get rid of
idea
it.
behind it, I think it worked for 1-2 Switch, and that's
Yeah,
probably
it
the only
worked in
game.
that game.
Yeah, that's probably the only game it's worked in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm with you there. I'm not a fan of the Rumble. Like I was playing a couple of games. I forget what. Dude, my controller, even my Pro controller, would just rattle uncontrollably, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What the hell is going on right here? Like this is madness." So yeah, I'm with you there.
I think it'd be nice if the Joy-Cons were not removable to have some sort of grip extension to the controller, not like something you slide on and off. Just change the design of where you hold it so
If
it's more comfortable.
if there was like little hubs on the back, like something
Yeah.
that like the Joy-Con more conformed to the hand,
Yeah.
I would enjoy that more.
Exactly. Uh, because you can't have it like that if they slide off because when you turn it sideways, I don't think it would feel right. It has to be pretty flat like it is at the moment.
Rybo is saying he wants analog triggers.
Yes, that's a good one. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That would help a lot with porting games from other consoles.
Yeah.
Like the example of Trials Rising, where on the other consoles, the triggers are accelerate, and the more you press it, the faster you go. But you can't do that on Switch, so they had to take that and put it onto the right analog stick because that's the only thing that's got different variable movement.
Yeah.
So.
Joey Craig is saying that he wants the Switch Pro to take advantage of the external GPUs through USB-C via dock, would take the gaming to the next level. So essentially, the dock would be like a power up or a booster on power.
Yeah.
The way it sounds, and that.
Yeah, if you could buy like just a powerful dock that adds power, that's cool.
Joe After Work is saying a traditional D-pad on the Joy-Cons. Which
I agree with that one.
I agree with that one as well. I've always said that I want a Pro Joy-Cons, meaning I want this. I want this right here on the Joy-Con. So I want bigger analog sticks, I want bigger buttons, and I want the D-pad. The buttons I could kind of maybe give away with and wouldn't have to have bigger buttons, but I would prefer a proper D-pad, bigger analog sticks, definitely bigger analog sticks, and then that would make me happy if I could get that out of a set of Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you know what's funny, right? Is if you have, if it comes with a proper D-pad and it's detachable, then when you're playing multiplayer with your friend and you give him the Joy-Con that's got separate buttons, and then you've got the one with the proper D-pad, that's like, it feels like you're giving him the third-party one and you've got the original.
That's true. That's true. I think, Rybo, I think my voice is panning because I'm moving around, and if I'm up here, right here in the mic, it's dead on. But if I back away, it kind of pulls away from it. So, but for me, I think I agree. I want the bezel to be bigger. I want it to. I would love. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything to tinker or tamper with Joy-Cons. I think what we have is what we're going to get.
Yeah.
But in terms of the console itself, I only want two things. I want 1080p on the handheld screen, and I want a bigger bezel. And if I can get those two things, I'll be happier. I would like more memory, if possible, just because I feel like, man, I just want them to go like, here's a model, here's 1 terabyte, just go. I know it's a little pricey right now, but like, man, I'm already. I don't know if I told you this. I had to delete a bunch of games off my Switch because I filled up my 400 gig.
That's insane. Like, I mean, the thing is, Bobby, you're a bit weird because you have over 200 games.
I'm a bit weird.
The average Joe does not have 200 games, Bobby.
I'm a little offended by your comment right there. Listen, it's not my fault that I don't have a kid and I spend my money on myself.
You know what? Like, you must be really confusing Nintendo because they're looking at their numbers and they're like, "What's the attach rate? Oh, most people are buying 3 games, but this guy's buying 200. Like, you're making the average. You're spiking the average, man."
Hey man, I'm doing my. And the crazy thing is, I bought like 4 or 5 more games since then. I bought Labo VR. That's one thing, but that's not, I don't really consider that to be a game that I'll have on my console. Whatever. I bought Hellblade. That's actually made me had to delete games because I bought Hellblade, and that's thanks to Joe after work because I watched him playing that on Twitch. My God, that game looks amazing on the Switch. So I bought that. Cuphead. That's a definite. I got a review code for SteamWorld Quest. If you want to go shut your blinds, go ahead. I'll just keep talking.
It's creeping
do
on
your
my
thing.
face right
Yeah. We need something to stop creeping on your face. It's just ridiculous. No, we don't need a clear picture of that face. Trust me. Like, I don't know what is happening right now, but that's just that face is oof. Come on now, talk to me.
I'm back.
So I also got Final Fantasy 10-2.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna play that.
Does it come with 2 carts? That would be really cool.
I bought digital.
Oh man.
Toby, I'm a digital man. Okay, I'm a digital man. Don't judge me. Don't at me.
Do yourself a favor, right?
I will buy that one physically.
Take the code for 10-2 and throw it in the bin.
No, it automatically downloaded both games.
Man.
Why, is 10-2 bad?
It's okay. I don't know. It's weird. It's not a proper game.
Okay, so 10. I definitely want to play 10.
Play 10. 10's great.
Yeah, I'll play 10.
Love
I want to
10.
play 12 because you were talking so highly about that. I started 9. I'm not really feeling 9 that much. I definitely am not going to play 7 because 7 just does not look like it holds up very well.
I want to get 7. Man. I'm waiting for it to go on sale because I've still got 9 to play through. So.
Yeah, let's jump into. We got these 3 questions from Out of the Warp Pipe. We'll hit them and then we'll have our quick discussion at the end. First question.
No, do a warp pipe. No, the questions are coming out of the warp pipe. Come on, do it for me.
No.
Do it for the people. They're watching.
You do it. I'm not doing it.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
That's not the sound of it, so whatever.
It is. Well, that's going in, isn't it?
You would know about going in. Anyway, seeing as Nintendo can put an easy mode into hard games, examples are Funky Kong in Donkey Kong Country, Toadette in Luigi U. Should they also do the opposite with games like Kirby and Yoshi to appeal to more gamers? What's your feeling?
I would say no. Because I'd say, arguably, the reason easy modes are in games is to make them more accessible to more people.
Okay.
And putting hard modes in is not necessarily doing that.
Okay.
It doesn't make the game more accessible. It just makes it more challenging for people that want that. If you get what I mean.
So my feeling is this. We have a situation that just came up with, I can't remember the name of the game, that's really hard. Sekiro, yes. Yeah. And people are screaming like, oh, we need an easy mode put in this. And my feeling is, no, you don't put an easy mode in. Like, either play the game, get good at games, whatever it might be. Like, that's like Bloodborne and Dark Souls going like, we need to put easy modes. No, that's not. My thing is you don't handcuff the artists. You know what I mean? Like, video games to me is an art form. It's what these creators have in their minds. It's what's coming out. It's like going to a painter and going like, you know what, man, I don't like how you painted them trees. Change it. Make it more appealing to everybody. You know, statistics show that people don't like pine trees. They like Japanese maples. And we're going to change all the trees. You don't do that. It's what's in their heads. You let them get it out. So I'm the same way, vice versa. If Nintendo feels like they don't want to make games harder because that's not the appeal, that's not what they're going for, then you let them do their thing. Like, it's what they are trying to give out to people. It's the story and the connection they're trying to have with their audience. So you don't change it just because the masses of, vocal minority that are basically screaming they want something. You just don't go changing everything. That's my feeling. If a company wants to make a game balls hard, you let them make it balls hard. And if they want to make a game super easy, then you let them make it super easy, and you let the people decide what they want to do in life. But to say, no, we're just going to change it up and make it easy or hard for people just to make it that's, they don't do it and you're not into it, then you don't buy it. It's just that simple. But to say like, no, you have to change it because you have to make it because I want it to be easier so I can play it. No, it's just either you're good or you're not. And it's just how it is. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, as well, I think it requires a little bit of balance. You know, games aren't. You know, when you design a game to be hard, it's designed in a specific way, like Sekiro.
Yeah.
It's not designed to be easy because of the way you fight in the game. A lot of it's to do with parrying and stuff. So just throwing in a hard mode, if you're just going to say enemies have more health, you have less health, you do less damage, like that's not a good hard mode. That's lazy hard mode.
Yeah.
And I think it requires a lot of effort to make a hard mode or a game hard that's also fun. So I think, you know, you need to think about these things more than just saying hard mode or easy mode.
Yeah. Next question we have is there an indie title that you'd love to see get a AAA makeover? We've brought this up numerous times where we go like, hey, what indie developer would you like to see grab a Nintendo title or something and give their spin on it? A lot of times it's like a 2D Metroid or whatever it might be. Right now that's happening now with Zelda. Cadence of Hyrule is basically getting, you know, a Zelda game, and they're switching it up and changing it up. So the question is what indie game would you like to see go the opposite way and get a truly HD or a AAA experience?
I don't want any indie games to have a AAA experience. I think the reason indies are successful as they are is because they're independent, because they have a vision. They don't have a corporate overlord. They don't have a massive budget that they need to deal with. I think if you give a lot of indies the budget that a AAA game has, you start having all these different issues crop up. The money men are saying we need to make profit, so the game needs to be like this. You know, if you could totally assure that developer has the same control that they have as an independent, then maybe. But I still think there's charm to a low budget game, especially with graphics. You know, making Shovel Knight a beautiful 3D game is not going to improve the gameplay of that. Like,
okay, shut your face. What I would do is I would go and I would tap the Nintendo Studios and go take a team and develop a Breath of the Wild or a 3D Zelda type game with Shovel Knight. That's actually what I had written down with Shovel Knight. That would be the game that I would say take it because it has the fighting mechanics and stuff of like very similar to old school Nintendo games. So I would just go the treatment that you gave Zelda all these years along, give Shovel Knight that same treatment. Make it more of a inviting 3D version of Zelda. That's what I would do. I don't care if you like it or not, Toby. That's what we're doing.
Whatever. Whatever. Maybe like something like Hyper Light Drifter would be my answer. Like, I just love the style, the art style of that game. I don't really think it needs a big budget, but perhaps they could do something interesting if they did. I don't know, but
and then the final question we have is: there's a lot of stuff like Mother 3 that fans have been asking about for years, but Nintendo doesn't release them. If their main goal as a company is to make money, why don't they release some of these games that have people begging, that have been begging for? They put in quotation or in parentheses, and Waluigi for Smash, they would sell incredibly well. So ultimately, like, you get these times where fans are asking for a lot of stuff, and people are like, I don't understand why Nintendo just doesn't do it because I don't understand why they don't just take our money, why we want it. And that could be bode well too for Sony as well. I feel like my opinion on this is just like they can't do everything. It takes time to develop these things and make it. And just because somebody says like that would be cool doesn't mean that it can be performed and made and it's going to be cool. Now, a situation like Waluigi for Smash, in my opinion, Waluigi is a trash character and shouldn't be in Smash. And he is in Smash, and he's just a garbage little. He was made just to be a doubles partner for Wario. Waluigi is an annoying little pain in the. I'm just kidding, just trolling. No, for me, I think about it and I go like, there's games like Mother 3. I don't understand why it's not coming. I don't get it. Like, it makes sense that Nintendo would, but there's a reasoning for everything. Whether I believe in their reasoning all the time, I don't know. But I think that they are ultimately looking like we need to push forward, change the way we look at things. Like, a lot of times, here's an example. A lot of times people are like, hey man, why don't you remake Metroid 2? And they're like, no. Why don't you re-release it? And they're like, we're working on some stuff. And they're not saying anything. Then next thing you know, we get Samus Returns for the 3DS, which is like, oh my god, we weren't even expecting it. Hey man, we want Link's Awakening. Oh, no, we're going to wait. And then when they surprise us and put it out, just because they haven't done it yet, doesn't mean that they're not working on it or developing it or trying it. But there's a time and a place for everything. And I think ultimately you just got to be patient and give it time.
Yeah, I think you said that really, really well. They know more than we do what we want most of the time. So, like, we say, oh, please remake this game. But in the background, they're like, well, we've tried doing that, and that was cool. But when we did that, we found that it was more exciting to do this other thing, like Link Between Worlds rather than a Link to the Past remake. In time they will get to these things, and I think a lot of it is, like you say, is it actually going to be successful? Because there's a vocal minority saying Mother 3. Like, that's probably not going to be a worthwhile investment.
You son of a! Like, are you serious right now? I'm not in the vocal minority. I am the majority. No, don't even. There's stop it. Listen. Earthbound sold through the roof on the Wii U when they put it out finally. Earthbound Beginnings sold extremely well on the Wii U when they put it out. Don't tell me that a Mother 2 or a Mother 3 Earthbound 2 wouldn't sell well. Don't you do that to me.
I do expect them to release it at some point, right? But I think Nintendo like keeping you on the hook, Bobby. Like, it keeps you invested, it keeps you excited and looking forward to things.
Yeah.
The whole Waluigi in Smash, that's a meme. That's like Year of Luigi, right?
Yeah.
They're milking it for all it's worth. Eventually it'll probably come and it will be a cool announcement. Some people like that character, man.
I don't know. Okay.
But I think it comes down to business things that we don't know about. A lot of it's lawyers and like, there's a reason GoldenEye hasn't been re-released on anything. Like, Tony Hawk's, there's so much licensing.
Well, with Mother 3, they don't even own the rights to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they own. It's a weird lawyer thing. Like, so it's all tied up. It's weird stuff. So, but anyway, real quick, before we wrap up, when I threw everything at you, you were like, "Hey man, let's talk about Zelda a little bit." So. I have, from time to time, over the past few months, especially when I was streaming, I jumped back in. I can't stand Rybo. He's a piece of trash. I jumped back into Breath of the Wild. And then the one day I was playing it, and you heard me playing, and you were like, I want to go back and play it again. So you wanted to talk a little bit of Breath of the Wild. So
yeah. So I jumped back in. I created a new save file on my US account.
Yes.
So I didn't delete my.
That's what I did. I made a Japanese account and did it.
Yeah. So I'm playing it just organically again. I've not got a focus or a goal. I'm going where the wind takes me.
Yes.
So I've done the plateau and I've left that. And when I jumped off, I just jumped in a direction that I thought looked the most interesting. and it took me to a shrine,
Mhm.
right? And it was the very first shrine that I did off the plateau was one that I totally missed my first time around.
Interesting. Interesting.
And I think I'd done nearly 100 shrines on my other file, so I haven't
Mm.
got that many left. But yeah, and it was a big shrine. It
Yeah.
was like a full-size dungeon shrine,
Oh, and
and I was like,
you were driving yourself crazy. Like, why did I do this the first
yeah,
time?
I was like, wow, I hit the jackpot here. So that was really cool. And then I came across a stables, and I got a side quest, and the guy was asking me to find a white horse up on this mountain somewhere. So I was like, all right. So made my way up the mountain, and I see this horse. I was like, whoa, the white horse that that guy was talking about. I got to catch it, right? So sneak up behind it, on my knees. I'm going up. I leap on the back, and it starts kicking me around. At this point, I've not upgraded my health. I've not upgraded my stamina, right? So this horse is like chucking me all over the place, chucks me off onto the floor. So obviously I wasn't taming it well enough.
Yeah.
So climb up a tree, jump off a tree, glide, get onto its back. Yes, got it again. Kicking me around, patting it. Calm down, horse, calm down. Kicks me off, right? I go rolling down the side of this mountain. And I didn't fall into the water at the bottom, thankfully. So I was like, oh, what's going on? Why can't I tame it? So make my way back up. The horse is gone. So I'm like, where's it gone? So I'm looking around for ages. Eventually I find out it went down the mountain with me, right? So it's like halfway down there. It's like one of those goats that you see on a mountain.
Yeah.
It's like really steep,
Yeah.
but the horse is on there. So I spent ages trying to capture this horse again. I'm getting apples out. I'm dropping apples for the horse. Apples keep rolling down the hill into the water. So I'm like, God damn. So like I go up the top and I'm sitting there and waiting. And the horse eventually comes back up. I drop the apple. It eats the apple. So I drop another apple, and it comes along and it's eating that one. So I'm like, we're friends now. Like I'm feeding you. Jump back on it. Kicks me off immediately. Like no matter what, I will not be able to tame this horse. I spent like an hour trying to tame this stupid horse. And I think I just don't have enough stamina for it. So
You gotta go do some shrines.
yeah, I'm defeated for now, but I
Oh,
will come
Lord.
back to it.
I
But
So I've tackled a bunch of shrines already in my second playthrough, but I have not even messed with the bigger levels like the Ritu and all that stuff. I've just been
yeah,
avoiding those because I don't have the desire to go fight Ganon or any of that stuff. But I've just been kind of like taking on the shrines as they come. But the one thing very similar to you, like I'm finding places that I never even hit the first time.
yeah,
Now, I did complete all the shrines in my first playthrough because I really, truly am a good gamer and a good Zelda fan. It's
you
debatable.
cheated. You had the shrine marker on, didn't you?
The
Bloop,
shrine
bloop,
marker?
bloop, bloop,
Yeah, of
bloop,
course.
bloop.
It's there. It's a tool.
Turn it off, man.
No.
Get rid of the mini map. That's what I did.
No, I'm not like that. Anyway.
I'm an adventurer. I'm a true adventurer.
Yeah, well,
man.
I got your adventure hanging. How about you jump on that one? So the thing is, like for me, like in this one, but I'm finding areas that I never found before. Same
Yeah.
thing, like you stumble upon these little villages and stuff. It's like, where the heck was this thing the last time? Like I don't even
Yeah.
remember this. So, but man, it is so good. That's what I think that's what I like about that game the most. Like you
Yeah.
and I, our favorite Zelda game is Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And as much as we love that game, there's no change to the game. It's the same game every time. The adventure I have is the same adventure you have. But with this, like, not only do you and I have separate adventures, but we also have, when we do a second playthrough, a totally separate adventure. And that's
Exactly.
pretty impressive to me. But what my main goal right now is just taking down towers. That's what I've been doing. That's my main focus, is trying to get to the towers and unlock them the best of my ability. There's a couple that like I can't even attempt until I get to the Ritu because there's like that tar stuff hanging down them.
Yeah.
And you can't. You gotta shoot up with what Regali's Gale. You gotta go up above to get and then hit the. So it's a little.
You know what? It reminds me just how good that game is, and Like, because over time, like, you do forget
Yeah.
the experience that you had. Like, you know it's a great game, but you think, you know, maybe I was just overhyped at the time that it was like, oh, New Zelda. But going back and playing it, it is just so different, so amazing. Like,
Yeah.
there's no other game like it at the moment,
Yeah.
and you know, you just you just feel like you're out in the wilderness
Yeah.
alone. It doesn't have constant music playing. You know, you hear the animals and the sound of the wind and the grass, and you just feel like you're on an adventure.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I agree.
Like when I came out of the very first, like, the resurrection chamber, I put my trousers on, right? But I didn't want to put my top on, so I was just going around topless, just because I feel like more of a wild man. Like, I'm going around without my top on,
Oh my god.
and I've continued that. Like, I was taking more damage than necessary because it didn't have any armor or anything. But I'm not gonna wear anything unless I think it looks cool, or like it's something that I could have found in the wild. Like,
Oh my god. I just got okay. Anyway, so that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. We had a solid amount of people here all day today, and I love you guys all for checking us out live. This was pretty awesome. Be sure to check out everything that Toby does on the Twitters at Toby's_take. You can check me out at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
hey everybody, enjoy yourself and play some video games.
You are such a piece of